Turn me up, bro. Shit. You know what it is. I know.
They wrote me off and I ain't like that, so I'ma fight that. The bad man back. Right when you thought that it was safe to relax, you gotta stretch that. The bad man back. Healers with me for real, they right here where I'm at.
EbonVision Media. Today we have Mr. Von Donald.
Yeah.
Is Von short for something?
Von.
You just Von?
Your money.
When I see it, I'll be like, is that like Sir or Mr. Donald? So
Money Von or Von Money, one or the other. You know, however you want to flip it.
So we were just talking, and you said you were from East St. Louis.
Yes, sir.
How did you get into photography?
Well, actually, I started at the age of 16 in high school. My mother bought me a Minolta X370, and then I basically self-taught. But then in high school, I kind of took it to another level, started learning photography, dark room photography, the whole 9 yards. And so that's basically how it started and, the gist of it. And it's pretty cool. It's totally different from now, doing a digital age, I can tell you that. And I tell people, I say, what you know about cameras and what I know about cameras is totally different. You got an infinity opportunity, to get it right. Whereas back then we had either 12, 24, 36 times to get it right. We had to get it right the first time, or it's going to cost us extra money.
What? Why she buy you a camera? Did you say you wanted one, or she just?
I'm actually, and a lot of people don't know this, man, but I'm actually an artist, a real artist, like draw, paint, stuff like that, right? And I do believe she was just extending that creativity for me.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And I've been drawing ever since I was, I can't even remember, but I believe it was just an extension, of my my creative force.
That is so deep. Like, you rarely have parents that say, I see what you're doing, let me help you go further with it.
Yeah, and also the other side to that is, I was heavily in the streets too,
Okay.
and my mother, she had this strange way of raising, I'm going to say, me and my brother. She didn't do it traditionally. It was more of a tough love kind of thing, going on, and so her thing was, I'm going to lead by a certain amount of example. And when it's time for me to take certain things away, I'm going to take it away from you. And then I'll tell you why later on, once you try to figure it out. Right. And so she saw that, a lot of us, of course, growing up in the projects, a lot of us was in the street doing our thing. And she knew that I had this talent, and so she would do things, buy things for me, to sit me down, because she knew I loved it, and I enjoyed it. So it was a time like here's a puzzle, or here's a something to put together, build this, or here's a science kit, all these different things. It kind of like slow me down and keep me in the house and this and that, and that's just how she did it. She never said, okay, I need for you to stay in the house. What she would do was just give me things to do.
That's smart.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's smart.
Yeah.
So when did you take your Minolta and say, I want to be a professional? Like, do you remember the age?
Well, in my mind, I thought I was already a professional even at that time, because again, the skill set was totally different back then, right? Remember, I had the dark room knowledge and all of that, how to process my own film and the whole 9 yards. And so one thing I did learn, was, it was all about conception, how to, not only how to photograph, but, creating something like a memorable piece, like a piece of artwork. Every time you look through the camera, what are you really seeing? What are you really looking at, right? And so, whereas, again, people today, they would just pick up the camera and just start snapping. Well, here, again, we had 12, 24, 36 opportunities to get it right. And so for us to take one photo, I mean, it would take, 10, 15 minutes almost.
Yeah, and that's
get our
expensive.
lighting
Yeah.
together and the whole 9 yards. And, when I say 12, 24, 36, because that was a roll of film.
Yeah.
Just in case for those who
Yeah.
really don't
And,
know
and
what
people
I'm
don't
talking
realize
about.
the digital camera, like you say, you got infinity, however long that memory card lasts.
Absolutely.
But with that roll of film, it was so expensive to process that one picture.
Right.
Now a memory card is $15 and you can use it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that roll of film, then you had to take it to Walgreens, and then they'll send it off, and you'll get it in about a week or two. So
that's when you realize you messed up.
right, yeah. When you get the film back, you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. Photography is great. Art is great.
So you started doing the photography, and you said, "Oh man, I'm good at this. I'm awesome at this." When did you decide that I want to take this and start doing models mostly?
Well, actually, I stopped, and then when life hit, I had I left East St. Louis. I moved down to Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Then I moved back, and then in the late '80s, I moved to Atlanta, and tried to start a couple failed business, didn't work out. Moved back home, started a business, and that failed after so many years. And then what happened was in 2008, I had an idea to start an entertainment company. So I started in 2009. And so in my company, we started having, DJs, poets, caterers, we started doing weddings, events, the whole 9 yards. And so I had since put the camera down, again, just dealing with life. And so what I did was, and my customers, what I did, I would just outsource it to different photographers. And I did that for like maybe 2 or 3 years, just giving them all the money and the whole 9 yards. And until one day, my customer was saying, your guy didn't show up. Did you pay him? Yes. So after 2 or 3 times, I'm like, what should I do? And, if something like this ever happens again. So I outsourced this company in St. Louis and to take care of a school in Belleville, Illinois. And it was a 2-day event. And they did one day, and then they said, oh, we won't be able to do the next day, but I paid you guys.
Yeah.
I think they had something else come up or whatever, and they decided to take it. So I didn't want to let that school down, So what I did was I went to the camera store that was kind of close to me, and I told them, I need a camera. So I'm going to tell you how quick this was. So the second day, the event at the school was at 12:30. I was at the camera store at 10 o'clock. I spent like almost $2,000 on a camera, on a digital camera, that I had no clue how to use it. Because remember, I was used to the manual. And I told the guy, hey, give me a crash course on how to use this thing. And he did, and he took about 10 minutes, maybe 15 or something like that. And I did the event, and sent the customer the photos the next day, and they were impressed, you know. And so at that moment, that's when I realized that, hey, you know what? I need to get back into this. You know, maybe not just a professional photographer, but just as a backup to myself.
Yeah.
You know, in the event that something like this happens. And so now I got this camera, and you know, I was just going around just taking still photography, you know, still photos, different places in St. Louis, East St. Louis, and you know, a few other cities when I'm traveling. And I'm like, you know what? Let me start shooting some people. And so I just started reaching out to, you know, different people. They wasn't models at the time, and it started turning. It's, you know, the photos started turning out well, and that's when I decided, let me just find some, you know, professional models and stuff like that, or even semi-professional models. And I just started shooting those people in the maybe 2011, 12, something like that. And by 2015, you know, it had just grown, you know, and I just started shooting.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So how did the magazine come about?
Well, I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to give you one story, and I'm going to come back to that. You know, I can work on cars, and I can work on trucks, and to my like mechanic work. And how I learned how to do that is because nobody would help me, right? So that's how I learned how to work on cars, because nobody would help me. And so, and that's basically the story of my life. When people start denying me things, right? That's when I'm like, hey, you know what? Well, let me go ahead and just do it myself then. And so here it is, 2 years into this digital age. I had reached out to this company in California. Say, hey, I want to get my stuff in a magazine. How much it cost? Because, you know, I pay for everything. They said, oh, it's going to be $125, $150. I'm like, cool. And sending the pictures, they denied it.
After you spent the money?
Denied it. I'm like, okay, send my money back, right? Another magazine, they denied. The photos were great. They were really, really dope. And I was a little, you know, distraught. You know, like, hey, you know what's going on? And it just hit me. Well, start your own magazine. Put your own work in your own magazine. So that's basically how it started.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know what? I take that back. I was managing about 18 poets in St. Louis, and back in, I think, 2012, 13, 14, something like that. And I actually tried to start a poetry magazine, and it didn't work out. And then, you know, all the other stuff was happening, you know, with the other people in California, these other magazines. And that's when I decided to just go ahead and do my own. And
how do you manage? I'm sorry, I'm all away from the microphone. How do you manage a poet?
Easy. It's just like managing a hip hop artist. You know, it's a lot harder though, managing a hip hop artist. You know, because man, they you talk about entitlement, bro. Man, I mean, they want you to literally come knocking on their door, wake them up, feed them breakfast, you know, do everything for them. They don't want to do any work, man. And so, but managing, you know, spoken word artists or hip is fairly.
Is that many events that call for that type of stuff?
Yeah, it
Wow.
is. And it's not just in St. Louis, man, but again, I had like up to 18 spoken word artists that I was managing at that time. And, we were traveling, man, Chicago, Indianapolis, Louisville, Nashville, I mean, everywhere, Atlanta, you name it. And we were finding work, man, everywhere. and they were getting paid. I get my little cut, and sometimes I didn't. Depending on the circumstances and stuff like that. And we kept them busy, man. And and I even had at that time, I think I had 6 spoken word shows that I actually owned too at that time. So I had 5 in St. Louis, and they were all going on the same day at the same time with 5 different hosts, plus one in Indianapolis. And I was doing some stuff here in Atlanta too. So, yeah, I was pretty busy.
Is spoken word poetry still a thing? You don't see much of it.
Not here in Atlanta.
Gotcha.
Right, not here in Atlanta. I mean, you got your Georgia Mees, you got your Theresa Songbirds and Red Storm, out of Chicago that's here now, it's pretty big. You got the Tamika Fest that's going on, she does every year. In the Midwest, it's heavy in the Midwest. It's heavy up in, Philadelphia, New York, and, different places. Atlanta it's a lot of competition here. You don't hear about a lot of shows that's going on.
Yeah.
And but a lot of poets, they travel outside of Atlanta, to perform and this and that. So yeah.
We need to talk about that before you leave.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sick of rappers. But I love art, especially verbal type stuff.
Yeah.
And I've always liked spoken word, but like I say, you don't find much of it here.
Here in Atlanta, right.
Yeah, that's a good opportunity.
It is. Yeah, I even had I had a show here, and it's called Spit Poet. I did it I think it was in 2019, I do believe. And I had all the poetry greats at that show, man. I had Georgia Me, I had the Songbird, I think I had Red Storm, I can't remember. Man, it was really nice. Plus we had poets and stuff from St. Louis. We had other poets from Indianapolis come down. And I think we had a poet from Birmingham, and it was really, really nice, man. Really, really nice. I even had Saga Boss, if you know who Saga Boss.
I know Saga.
Yeah, had him get up on the mic for the first time. I mean, really nice. And Kayvon Hill was there. Yeah, it was really, really nice. And so at some point before COVID, I was actually the number 1 spoken word promoter in the whole Midwest. Yeah,
That's dope.
Me, Von. Right. Absolutely.
That's dope.
Yeah. So,
Jesus.
man, I'm telling you.
I didn't know spoken word was that big. Like
Yeah.
you saw it on BET sometimes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it from here to there, man. It's big money, man.
Showing my ignorance, but I've always been more hip hop centric. So, yeah.
I mean, look at Nikki Giovanni and all of them, man. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's there, man. The opportunities are there.
We sure need to talk. But let's get back to the
Okay, yeah.
Okay, we'll talk before you leave.
Okay.
Okay, so you move on. You got your own magazine. Well, you have your own magazine. You building a model stable. What's next?
Stable.
So, when I say stable, I don't mean
Okay.
like they belong to you. What I'm
Right.
saying, because you have a lot of models that come to you for help and guidance.
Before COVID, I had 55 models, male and female, black and white, from age 2 to 56 in 12 different cities, and I kept them all busy.
Goodness.
And wasn't even including Atlanta. I wasn't really even doing too much in Atlanta.
Do you still have these people? Like, do
I
a lot
have
of
access
people-
to them. I have access to them, but I'm not managing that many anymore. Right now, I'm a little bit more selective. I guess at first it was more about numbers than anything. Even though I was still providing a quality service, right? But it's nothing like numbers. So I'm past that point. I'm a little bit more mature now, and so it's 100% quality. Like for example, I may work with just about any model, right? But for me to manage them now, I have to watch them for at least 2 to 4 years, man, before I can let them on my team. You know,
What are the qualifiers?
it's so many of them, and it usually is. I mean, I have my core ones, but I'm gonna tell you, I can tell you what the disqualifications are. A few of them. I mean, when I'm watching you and I see how you post on social media, man, I mean, 2 or 3 red flags, man, just popping up, you know, because, you know, in this industry, if you're prone to get upset. You're going to get upset with the photographer. You're going to get upset with the designer. You're going to get upset with, you know, they didn't feed you, you know, at a show or whatever, right? And so what happens next? You go to social media and start calling people out? Mm-hmm. So what happens when I piss you off? Because I'm going to piss everybody off. And I tell everybody that, and you can ask every model that I work with, I'm going to piss you off at least 3 times.
I've heard.
Right. I'm going to piss you off at least 3 times, right?
I don't mean to interrupt you, but you don't know how many people that I know that you know that have told me, you remind me of Vaughn. Because the way I talk, you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing.
Right, exactly.
Like whatever I see you're doing wrong, I'm going to tell you. And sometimes you have to look at the disposition of the person and you have to tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
But most times you need to hear the truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I've heard that a couple of times. You remind me of Vaughn. I'm like, what?
Man,
what?
look.
Jesus.
So you see, social media is big, and how you interact with people, especially when they piss you off.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes, you know, I may even say, hey, you know what? You know, let's see if we can piss this person off. I mean, because I want to see what you're about. I'm gonna see how you're gonna react to this. You know,
that's funny.
because you know, it's I know it's weird, you know, but that's my vetting process. One of them. You know, and that's one of my pet peeves is social media. How do you respond? And another one is I'm gonna give you an opportunity, and I'm gonna see how you're gonna respond to that. You know, it's not gonna be the same opportunity as a signed model or whatever, but it's gonna be something that's more than what you're already doing. And I'm gonna see how well you work with you know, and if now you're coming up with all these different excuses. Well, I can't make it because, you know, my dog is getting ready to die next year. So, or there's not enough air in the room. I mean, some of the excuses, they get kind of like ridiculous. And I'm like, you know, and yeah. And so, yeah. So the excuses, social media, you know, and just all out complaints, you know, just about anybody. And then after that, you know, you're talking about another disqualifier is, you know, how confident you are. Because I believe that as a model, male or female, you should do comfortable doing any and everything.
Yeah.
You know, you should be able to walk on fire. You should be able to walk on ice, snow, grass, all of that stuff. In stilettos, in heels, and pumps. You know, from high fashion. You know, I'm not going to say everybody should do this, but if you can do it, artistic nude, do it. Because I'm taking a page out of Tyra Banks.
Yeah.
You know, on countless occasions, she encourages all models to do that. Because if you're not prepared right now to do anything that's showing a little bit of, let's just say, you know, your upper extremities, then how are you going to make it in Milan when this company wants to pay you $50,000 to wear a piece of paper?
Or
something really
cellophane.
Exactly. What, you going to tell them no?
Yeah.
And then they say this. Oh, well, they paying me. I'm gonna do it then. But how would they know to even pay you if you can't even show them an example of what you already done?
Bro, that's back to the rap category.
Right.
I'm not paying to do well. How will people know you if you don't already start somewhere?
Absolutely.
I don't get it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's crazy. And so, and I think those are my disqualifiers in this and that. And if I see you have potential, I still may work with you. I give people 90 days and this and that. And then after that, man, sometimes I say it ain't working, and sometimes I may just wean a person off, and let me just focus on this other person that's willing. Now, I treat all my models the same. Every last one, male or female, it doesn't matter. But what makes the difference is the one that is a willing participant.
Yeah.
If I put it out there and one person is, I'm going to take it and run with it. That's who I'm working with. And if they constantly just want to do these things that I keep putting, and you sit back and I don't want to participate, I don't want to do that, then don't get mad.
Yeah. Move on.
Yeah, don't get mad. I offer this to everybody. And this person decide they want to do it, and we're going to do it.
So, how me and you met? Like, well, we knew of each other. But what made me, you probably don't know this, but since the time you hit me on Facebook, and you're going to remember the time I'm talking about, and you said, call me.
Yeah.
And I called you because I had put a post on Facebook about I was trying to help these models out, and one lady got upset, and you hit me. You said, bro, call me. And I called you, and you said, what you need? Ever since then, this was back, man, my
And what did I say again?
So I did this photo shoot, and the guy who's supposed to do the photo shoot, he didn't show up.
Right.
So I had to take the pictures.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not a good photographer.
Right.
I'm getting better.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But at the time, I took the pictures, and one lady, she got upset. I don't even remember her name. She hit me a couple of weeks ago about the opportunity. Fuck you. But but I put on Facebook, how you gonna get mad at me, yada, yada, yada. I gave your money back, this and this and this.
Right.
And you hit me on Facebook. You said, call me. This is my number.
Right.
This Vaughn called me. You remember that situation?
Yeah, okay.
And I called you, and you asked me what happened, and I told you. You remember what the first thing came out of your mouth was?
Tell me.
Man, fuck them folks.
Exactly.
That's exactly what you said to me. And I didn't know you from nobody.
Right.
Like, I had saw your post. I like your post. You saw my post. You liked my post. And I think at the time you was producing a podcast with these ladies.
Yeah, Love and Tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, Love and Tips.
And you said, bro, what do you need from me? And I said, I need some photos.
Yeah.
And you sent me photos.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know,
Right.
but since then, you have been my long-distance mentor.
Right.
Like,
Wow.
I watch what you do.
Right.
And people, now I'm going to say this because people are going to be like, why are you copying somebody? We all imitate something.
Right.
We all emulate other people's stuff.
Right.
But I have watched what you do, and I try to pull back because one thing you don't do that I respect is you don't get on social media and vent.
Right.
Like, sometimes
Wow.
you may get on there and say something.
Right.
But you're not like me. Like,
Right.
every time somebody pisses me off, I'm on there cussing them out. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm trying to get better in that. But I wanted to let you know before we wrap this up. Before we end.
You know what? I'm going to say this. I'm a defender of rights, if
Yeah.
I can say it like that, right? And when I see things like that, I'm going to reach out, and I'm just going to say his name. Even Fats,
Yeah.
done the same way. You cannot call Fats out and me sit back and let that happen. Oh yeah, he got called out a couple of times, and I called those people out. I'm going to defend what's right.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot of malicious people out here, man, and they do things for clicks, man. They do things for to get attention. Sometimes they say things to try to get a rise out of people and this and that, all just for the gram, man. But the one thing you're not going to do, you're not going to disrespect fam, bro. So if I consider you part of the fam because of your connections between you and Fats, yeah, you part of the fam.
Me and Fats were talking yesterday. He had his show up here yesterday, him and David. And me and Fats were talking about a situation he's going through. And I'm not the I told you so person.
Right.
But I am the what I say. I won't say I told you so.
Right.
But I'll be like what I say. And he was
Right.
talking about this particular person, and this particular person who's been dogging him out lately. I told Fats 5 years ago when all of us was around each other. I said, "Why are you dealing with this person?"
Right.
And he, that's my, and I told Fats, I said, "Me and you are the same but opposite."
Right.
Because people, I try my best to help everybody. I try.
Right.
But once you show me that you don't want to be helped.
Right. Yeah, one thing about, and I'm going to say, one thing I love him, man. I promise you, man, I really do. And there's one thing, and don't get mad at me, Fats. I'm telling you, don't.
He get mad at me all the time.
Look, man, I'm going to tell you, he's tenderhearted, man.
Oh, yes.
He
loves everybody.
He loves everybody. I'm telling you, he don't want to see nobody upset.
Exactly.
And that's his downfall.
Bro, I just yelled in my mic. I'm sorry. Bro, next time you talk to him, ask him what I say to him all the time.
Right.
Bro, you can't please everybody.
You cannot.
Like Fats, don't get mad at me. Don't punch me in the face next time you see me.
Right.
But I tell this dude all the time, you cannot go broke helping these people.
I'm telling you.
And he do it all the time.
Right.
These people don't even realize Fats be in financial binds
Right.
helping you.
Wow.
He does it all the time.
Yes.
And then these same people will turn around and get mad at him because he can't help them that day.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Man, now let's talk about free. Oh, my God. I told Fats the other day, I said, I'm talking about free on the podcast. Free. I don't support free.
And you told me that. With that
Right.
conversation me and you had,
Right.
when I told you I was giving that person their money back, you said,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Right.
They paid for something.
Right.
You gave it. You
Right.
gave the stipulations. Why you giving them their money back? I said,
Right.
because I don't want a headache. You said, damn the headache.
Right.
They knew what you told them what was going on. And
Right.
that's what you told me. Nothing I do should be free.
Right, exactly. I don't support free. I don't support free events. I'm not going to do it because, see, I'm not saying that I'm the best at economics, but I understand economics enough to know that if you're putting on an event for free, trying to get people to come out, you're not going to get people to come out. You're going to get two types of people. You're going to get those who don't have money to help you invest, the people that's trying to get over on you, and you're going to get those people, or you're not going to get people at all to come to your event because it's free. In their mind they're going to say, okay, well, you're not losing anything, so why should I even come? There was nothing invested. You have to charge people not just a small amount, like $5 or $10, but you got to charge them enough to say that once they make that, $25, $50, and their mind is, I got to come because I don't want to lose $25, $50.
And people feel like the more they pay for something, it's worth investing in.
Absolutely. So if I support it free, I'm supporting laziness. I'm supporting triflingness, if that's a word.
It's a word now.
Right. I'm supporting niggardliness. I'm supporting, we can't grow off of free. We cannot do it. So I put together this networking event, this business networking event in St. Louis. I think it was in 2016 or 17. So I invited a lot of people out. And I think I was just charging $10 or $12. Not a lot of people showed up. And I had this one vendor. She paid, like, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't really into that vendor thing, $25, $50, whatever, to vend. And she was kind of upset because there wasn't a lot of people came out, right? So, so the next day, she called me, maybe in the next 2 days or something like that. She says, I'm glad I came to your event. And she said, and I said, why? And she says, because I know there wasn't a lot of people. I know I was upset with you and the whole 9 yards, but everybody there that you knew made over $100,000. I made some great connections, the whole 9 yards. And I'm thankful to be, at that event. I said, absolutely. Success does not depend on numbers. As long as you got quality people there, then you're winning.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And so then I had another person says, well, I'm going to put together me an event, but I'm not going to charge. And I said, well, they're not going to show up. Put together a free event, and guess what happened? Nobody showed up. So why are they showing up for my event and other people's events, and they're not showing up to yours? Because it's free.
And the second thing is, if you're not charging for an event, you're not paying money for other stuff that's needed to let people know.
Right.
You're not paying for promotion. You're putting stuff on Facebook and Instagram, but you're not realizing that Instagram and Facebook only send that to a certain amount of people.
Okay. Now, you put together a free event, and then the following week, you put out a GoFundMe.
You're trying to recoup what you lost.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Don't charge. Because we have to go in knowing we buy these tickets because we want your guests are investing in you.
Yeah.
We gotta get out of this. I want the hookup. We gotta get out of that mentality. We have to support these events and stuff like that. That especially when people are trying to grow and put not only themselves but other people, in a greater height and greater limelight, and so that everybody can benefit from it. Those are the ones you support.
Yeah.
Not the ones who says, "Oh, okay, well, I'm going to start my own whatever it is because I think I could do a better job than Keisha or whoever." I don't support that. I really support the genuine people who are really out here trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
So I don't support free. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't do it. So if
don't ask Vaughn to do shit for free.
Well, I mean, yeah, that too, but because again, man, it's all about value, man. Like TFP, for example, I tell every model that comes in, my presence, stay away from photographers that offer TFP. And I know a lot of y'all gonna, clown on me on that.
What's TFP?
But, time for print, free. Usually in my findings that when models go to get TFP, it's a great way to build up your portfolio. But what happens is, in return, you'll get thumbnails that's perfect size for social media, for posting and this and that. And but when it's time to get published, now you got to go back to that photographer and says, I want to get these photos published. You're going to say, you didn't pay for a commercial license. You didn't pay my booking fee. And 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get them. Unless, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, don't say that.
Unless.
And then a lot of photographers, they'd be pissed at you because you took those pictures and put them all over social media.
Exactly.
They can't even use them now.
Yeah, exactly. And I've learned, I know a lot of photographers before they even the ink dried, they already posting them up just so he can disqualify the photos for getting published.
That's diabolical.
I'm telling you, man, because you didn't pay for them.
That's evil, though.
You hear me? Because you didn't pay for them. It's TFP.
I get it,
You know?
but that's bad.
I'm telling you, it happens.
Jesus.
So when you pay for your photos and your photo shoots, right, now you got rights.
Yeah. Some.
Yeah,
because because
well,
models
you're
should
right.
know.
Right.
Yeah.
They should know that, the photographer still owns the photos. But you have, better rights than you do when you're doing TFP with free. And so, and I tell them, pay for your photo shoot so you can at least have something to say.
Yeah.
Hey, don't post these yet, or I want to get these in a magazine, or I want to do Home Depot or whatever company wants to purchase these photos or something like that. Pay for your photo shoot so you can get the best experience that you can get out of your photo shoot, with your photographer.
Yeah.
Because at some point he gonna cut you off. He can be like, why you keep calling me for TFP for free photos? And you ain't paid for a dime, and you constantly begging.
Unless it's one of them photographers doing it for something else.
Exactly, but we can't say that. We ain't saying that.
But it's out there.
But it's out there. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Trust and believe. And what that does for me is when I charge, and I charge for everything, it eliminates the possibility. It puts the model in a better position, puts me in a better position. So if I was that type of dude and I didn't get paid, and I was on that level, then possibly I would go for something like that, right? So paying your photographer, paying your makeup artist, paying whoever, it puts them in a better position where you don't even have to go down that route. Does it make sense?
Makes sense. And if you paying people, they're more likely to help you when you can't pay.
With other stuff.
Yeah.
With other stuff. And it's, I'm going to give you the next one free. Or I'm going to give you an extra look or something like that. Just bring it, So, yeah.
Let's go back to this, because you are a very good businessman. And you said something earlier. You said you had businesses that failed. Can you talk about those, what those businesses were?
Let's see. I started my first business in 1996. When I moved back home from Atlanta. When I was here, I tried to start 3 businesses, and boy, it didn't work out. For whatever reason.
Can you tell us what they were?
Okay. If I can remember, one of them, I tried to open up an art studio on Memorial Drive.
Okay.
Right across the street from Pep Boys. It was a building over there at that time. And, went through all the proper channels, SBA, everybody, banks, everybody denying me. I tried to open up a tire shop, with someone. That didn't work out. And and the other one was a Subway. I tried to open up a Subway shop in, I think it was in North Lake Mall. Tried to open up a Subway there, right?
Right here.
Yeah, and so filled out the application, and they got it back, sent me the letter, said, "Oh, everything is good except one thing. You didn't." I can't remember what it was. We just gonna say I didn't answer that one question right. And I said, okay, well, that's cool. Let me go ahead and answer it and then send it back to you. They said, oh, no, you got to wait a whole nother year before we can, And so I just gave up on it, trying to, become self-employed. And so when I moved back, it really gave me an opportunity, to start a business. So I started my first business, in 1996. And I did it all the way up until 9/11, and maybe a couple years after that. But 9/11 was kind of like the coffin, the nail in the coffin. And it was a power washing company, and mobile detailing
You
in
was
Power
making some
Washing
money.
Company. Man, I'm gonna tell you, I had up to, I think my total number of employees at that time, doing the whole period could have been maybe 30, 40 people, something like that.
That's a significant number of people.
And and then when I ended it, I think I had 14 employees registered with the state, the whole 9 yards. And I turned it from maybe a $50 a day business to, after 2 years, I was working at a restaurant at the same time. And then after that, when I quit the restaurant, I realized that I can make more money. And I made about, I think I just took off, if I'm not mistaken. I said, you know what, let me just take off and just see what my business can make. Because I was afraid, I didn't really challenge myself, I was really scared to do and to just venture off, even though I started the business. So I took a day off, and from like 7 a.m. to 10:30, I made about $900. Serious. And I quit the restaurant the next day. So I'm like, what? And I was doing this for like 2 years, and I was just afraid to challenge myself, And I'm like, what? So then 4 years later, I was, again, making just a $50, $100 a day, something like that. And then it became $4,000 to $6,000 a month, right? After I quit my job, right? No, maybe 2.5 years later, I quit my job and I started making like $4,000 to $6,000. And then after that, I started landing contracts and stuff like that, government contracts. And that's when I started hitting 7 figures. In 1999, something like that. Did it for a couple of years, 2001, up until the World Trade Center, man. And and when that happened, the government, seized they stopped paying all government contracts, man. And everybody kept saying, oh, you're going to get paid, just hang in there. 11 months later, I still got these employees paying, in hopes of, after 11 months, they got rid of the contract, man. It was like, and I was like dead in the water, So I took my last little everything and paid off everything, paid off all my equipment, trucks, the whole 9 yards, man, and which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this. This is what I do. Every time I start a business, I start a backup business. When I got the money, I start a backup business just in case something like that happens.
Yeah.
So I started a lawn care. And guess what? It was already paid for, everything else,
Because those kind of go hand in hand anyway.
Absolutely. So I did that. And I started that I think in October of any given year, I can't remember. I think from October, when lawn season was over, from October to like December 14th, man, I made almost 10 grand. So I'm like, wow, yeah. And so then after that, I delved into, other businesses and stuff like that also put me either, close to 7 figures or maybe a little bit below it and this and that. But yeah, I've just always been, self-employed, The failure, when my first business failed, I'm going to tell you this, and I want everybody to listen in on this. This is so important. What I did not do when I lost my first business, I did not curse God. I didn't go around saying, why me? Why God? Why did you let this happen to me? I was good. I did all of these different things. I did not do that. What I did was I thank God for everything. I thank them for the opportunities. Thank them for all the people that I met. I thank them for the prosperity. I thank them for everything. And I think because of that, he saw fit for me to start something different. And I think that's the difference. And how we react to different things will determine, our future.
That's true. So you're a chef too?
You know what? Yes. Yeah.
You got cookbooks?
Yeah, I got a cookbook and a dessert book. I started when I was 4 years old. My mother, every Monday during the summer, I would make cornbread. And by the time I turned 8 or 9, I knew how to cut a whole chicken up into 8 parts. And in the hood, we made 9 parts because we ate that back too, for real. So 9 parts. And so by the time I turned 11 or 12, I wanted to become a professional chef. And so I actually started my first cookbook when I was 12, right? And, between, my mother moving and this and that, things got lost in the shuffle. And, but I had to make a decision too, peer pressure, brought me to the streets, So you either going to be a chef or you going to be in the streets. So I chose the streets, And so I just put it down. So the cookbooks and stuff that I, came out with is actually the ode to what I did before. And, very good at it, man. Love it. And I center it around men, because my thing is I want to try to get, men in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I even in the cookbook it even says some excerpts about it, that it's good to take your woman out, especially when you got the intent of getting whatever you need to get later on. But I guarantee you, if you stayed at home, not only will you save money, but she'll be that much more impressed with you, about that cooking experience. So is again, it's basically for men, to learn how to cook.
Ain't that weird that most chefs, professional chefs, are men, but it's a stigma in homes that women should cook?
You know what? I can't remember what year or what era that started, but it's just like tailors. Same thing with they say the best tailor is a man, because we started out, making suits, clothes, and stuff like that. But I think when things started changing, where the man had to be out and doing whatever he needed to do, I think back in the 60s and the 70s, like my grandfather, he would leave for 3 or 4 days, 5 days, to find work, come back with a paycheck, food, and the whole 9 yards. And I think during that period, that's what caused my grandmother and all of them to, to really get in the kitchen and do what they had to do.
Because this show try to make it seem like a lot of these recipes are passed down from women from generation to generation to generation. But I can remember people in my family saying that the men in our family were the best cooks.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's been like that, And not to take away anything from women, but Chef Stanford, he's going to be at the award show. He's going to be basically cooking for everybody. He's a really good chef.
Yeah.
And I had an opportunity to meet his mother, right? And man, she taught him a lot.
Yeah.
And now he's doing very well for himself.
All right, big bro. Got to get you out of here on this.
Man.
What you doing? What you reaching for?
Man, I don't. I thought I had a list of questions.
Stop your shit, man.
I'm just saying, man. Come on, man. We hit on what did we hit on?
A lot.
We did hit on a lot.
A lot.
I basically wanted to just talk also more about the industry and stuff like that.
Okay, go ahead.
What we wanted to do, but go ahead and ask your question, man. Let me
My
see if
question was the industry.
Okay, go ahead.
My question was, so you have an award show that you do.
Okay.
What facilitated that? Because before you answer, because in Atlanta, everybody has an award show. And most of these people that they're giving awards to, nobody's heard of.
Okay. I'm going to go back to, I said that when people start denying me things, so I wouldn't get no award, so shit. I want to get an award too. I'm telling y'all, if you deny me on anything, you best believe something's gonna come up out of that. So, but no, it actually, the award, the Image Award, actually started in 2018. I did the blueprint back then. And this is before I even known about ATL Hottest. I didn't know anything about it. And I didn't find that out until like November of 2019. I even put out a post in 2019, I think it was in May, and trying to get people to go and vote and you know, hey, here's the categories, nominate people and this and that. And so it was basically social media based.
Yeah.
And it didn't go anywhere
Yeah.
at all. And so, but I knew one day that, you know, I would definitely be given another opportunity. So I had to put certain things in place to make it happen. We got a new website. We got a new logo. We got new branding, whole new focus, you know, with the magazine. And it was just time to put certain things in place, because really I gave myself 10 years to get the magazine where it needed to be. And so I had a little epiphany like last October, November, something like that. And it says, oh, no, you need to go ahead and shave 3 years off of that. You need to do this now. So first thing I did was I built the website. I built a $20,000 website, and I did it in 30 days. 30 days, you know. On average, it takes 6 months to 12 months to do a website. I did it in 30 days, up and running by January 1st. Yeah, and actually, it was in 2 weeks because I had got sick 2 weeks.
You did it yourself, or you?
I did it myself. Did it all myself. Again, people deny me and not want to help me build stuff and do stuff. I do it on my own, you know. So all the skills that I know and all the things, it's because of people denying me, telling me, you know, don't want to help me, you know, or whatever. And I'm willing to pay people.
Do you have a team for the award show, or just you?
No, I got a team.
Okay.
Yeah. It's you know, we're gonna increase the promotions starting tomorrow, actually. So we got a whole list of presenters, including Brian Marshall, one of the presenters. It's hosted by Poet Lightning out of St. Louis. We got a presenter that's Deb Dior is going to be presenting. We got Married to Marvelous, Oscar and Mia that's going to be presenting. We got Roxanne Dover that's going to be presenting. And we got the Love and Hips girls.
And it's here in Atlanta, right?
Yeah. Kim Toynana that's going to be presenting. And what's our brother? What's our brother? The model. Man, he go. Man, don't forgive me.
Mario?
No. Oh my God, I can't. You're gonna have to edit this out. Oh my God, man. He has a talk show. Classic Conversations. James Thompson. I don't know.
Okay,
yeah. So James Thompson is also going to be a presenter, and so we're going to be giving out a total of 15 primary awards. We're going to be giving away 8 food awards, and then we're going to be giving away an additional, I think, 8 awards on top of that. Iconic Magazine Choice Awards. And we're going to be, our special guest is going to be Sequence. You heard of Sequence, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're going to, Sequence, if don't nobody know, is the first ever all-female hip-hop group. Came out in the late 70s. And so we're going to be doing, and we're going to be honoring Angie Stone, which was part of the group, with Blondie, Cheryl Pearl, and Angie Stone. And so we got some other celebrity guests that's going to be in the building as well. And it's going to be a really nice event. So y'all come on out, get some tickets, and let's show out.
That's dope. So, back to the industry.
Okay.
What has to happen, in your opinion, for urban models to be taken seriously in a predominantly white modeling industry?
Well, first of all, they got to start investing in themselves, man. Again, they got to stop, with this handout, man. Attitudes got to change, man. I've arrived. Let me tell you something. I'm just going to throw a number out there. Jordan made $50 million a year, but he still came to practice every day. There's a lot of models out there who refuse to go to practice. Refuse to be taught. Yeah. I already know how to walk. That don't mean nothing. You got to keep perfecting your craft because it's almost like exercise. You ain't walked in a while, but in your mind, you're a professional model and get out there and then twist your ankle because you haven't been practicing.
Exactly.
Attitude, entitlement. You got to get out of Atlanta. I'm talking about specifically for the ones here in Atlanta. You got to travel. You got to get out. There's more to modeling than Atlanta, and I'm going to say in New York Fashion Week. So there's some great shows in Detroit. There's some great shows in Nashville, great shows in Florida. I mean, everywhere. Dallas.
California.
Absolutely. Get out. You're not missing anything, in Atlanta. You're not missing anything.
There's a lot of them think that it's either Atlanta or New York.
Yeah, and that's it. Again, and I'm going to go back to this, investing in yourself. And I'm going to say it again, invest in yourself. You can't be afraid to spend money, whether it's a photographer, a good makeup artist, whatever it is, good wardrobe or something like that, but I'm not a big proponent of, going to Macy's and spending $300 on an outfit when you can go to the Goodwill and get almost that same outfit for $3.50.
May look better.
And oftentimes it does, and again, just change your attitude and be more of a willing participant, and you will definitely go far or further than you were, where you are. And I do like the urban industry. I do like urban, but I also like, the industry as well. The industry is changing to kind of like, to allow, even shorter models and stuff like that into it. And just be open-minded, and it's just so much to say about it. But just keep grinding.
What do you think about, we're going to stick with models. What do you think about the models that feel like they have to be a part of every part of the industry?
Oversaturation.
Yeah.
Oversaturation. And I tell my models all the time, don't get into everything. Don't do that. Don't, and I'm not trying to tell you what to do. If you want to do it. But don't get into everything. And because if I go to a show and I'm just going to use Deb Dior, and she's on the flyer, great show, and come out and see her, come see her perform, and the average person who claims that they're broke will sum it up like this: why should I go and pay $100 to go to this event to see Deb when all I got to do is just wait 2 more days and she's going to be at this other event for free?
Or she got a podcast.
Or a podcast, or this and all of these different things that are going on. You can't oversaturate yourself. You got to make people miss you. That if you want to get paid, you got to make people miss you.
That's why everybody bought the Flute album when Andre did it.
Right. And like I said, I've been managing a lot of people, man. And I'm not really new to this. And, and it's the same story with everybody, man. Watch how you post. Watch your frequency. Even though Facebook says, post 6 times a day. And again, I tell them, don't do it. But it's money, though. There's other ways to make money. You run the risk of people seeing your posts every 2 seconds. You run the risk of people blocking you for 30 days, silencing you because you're posting too much.
I do it all the time.
Me too. So you run that risk. And then again, when people start seeing you all the time, now you got this big thing going on that now you want people to come out, and they were like, I see you every day.
I didn't see it because I blocked you on Facebook.
Right.
I unfollowed you, so I didn't even see it.
Right.
It happens all the time.
Yeah. And so, you gotta watch that frequency, man. It's a silent killer. I'm telling you, because you think you're over there doing good and being seen. Don't let Facebook trick y'all. Facebook is trying to make money off of y'all by getting y'all to post. Think about your career.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, I'm going back to the award show. Are y'all letting people vote for people, or you have a committee that does the voting?
The voting is over. Basically, I decided that we were going to do the voting thing instead of doing a committee because everybody that I know is talented.
Yeah.
So if I vote for this person over that person, and I'm like, you know what? Then I think there will be a conflict. So I just put it in the hands of the people. Go ahead and vote. Get y'all friends to vote for y'all, and may the best person win. Person with the most votes win. That's not going to take away from your talents and this and that.
We were thinking about doing an EbonVision one for a few years now. I really don't want to do it, but my business partner, he's saying we probably should. But I wanted to do a committee of people that aren't in the industry and have them look up these people's work and see what they're doing.
Right.
That's an outsider's perspective. Somebody who's not friends with this person or related. So if they can say, "Oh, I saw this and it was great," I think that's a better judge.
Right.
Because a lot of people, I'm gonna speak for a lot of award ceremonies that are held in Atlanta every year.
Okay.
A lot of these people, they charge you to vote for people, and it behooves you to take that money and put it into your friends.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I think
let me say
sometimes
this.
that's
I'm sorry.
a bad
I'm
thing.
sorry.
Oh, no, you good.
Let me just say this. 1, we don't charge.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
2, we don't ask anybody to pay for a vote. We don't ask people to pay for an award. Matter of fact, when you go to vote, all you got to do is put your name, email, address in there. Don't ask you for your phone number because we're not calling you, and just vote for that person and then just keep it moving. And the other thing is I would say the difference between Iconic Magazine and other award shows, there's no qualification that's in place for a lot of them when they're nominating people, because they'll say, hey, let's just say photography. We need nominations. And let's just say Johnny over here, your cousin just got a camera. He took a picture of you and you liked it. And now I'm going to throw him in this nomination field. And because he knows more people, let's just say over David Price.
Yeah.
And this Johnny wins, and nobody knows him, but he knows a lot of people. And then now David Price is like, well, damn,
Yeah.
who is this guy? So the difference is with the Iconic Magazine, you got to be published in the magazine.
That's what I was getting to.
You have to be published in the magazine to be nominated.
Yeah, a lot of these dang on award show in Atlanta, a dude might start rapping tomorrow. Mm-hmm. He might be famous on his side of town for doing something other than rap.
Right.
And then all these people vote for him. He get up there and you got all these people that have been grinding for years.
Right.
And they don't win. And that's what happens in a lot of these things. Because the people that are putting it on, they just looking for the money.
Exactly. So you have to be published. So we're giving you credit that you actually sat down or scheduled a session with a photographer, a makeup artist, or whoever, or designer, and you did a photo shoot. You submitted it. We got the high definition photos. We published it, the whole 9 yards. So that, to me, that's saying that you did something. You did a minimal thing. So we can determine you from this person because their cousin had a feeling that you should be a model or photographer or whatever just because they know you versus, so now that's the qualification. You are not going to enter into the nomination unless you publish in the model and publish in the magazine, either in the print form or on the website. Whether you're a model, hip hop artist, write an article. You'll be entered in the category.
How many categories are there again?
15 right now. Next year it's going to be close to 20.
What are the categories?
I can't remember them all.
What are the big ones in your eyes?
Well, they're the typical ones. Model of the year, male and female, and But we even went a step further when it comes to that. We're doing a cover model of the year.
What's the difference?
The difference is all of those people that you see on the cover in those cover categories and stuff, they pay for. So I had to create something to show my appreciation for them supporting the magazine. So you only got 12 months. It's only 12 people. So 12 people.
That's dope.
Exactly. So
and that shows people that, like what you said earlier, paying for, like, supporting yourself financially through this thing can have its benefits.
Absolutely. The winner for this year, because we went back and included everybody from 2018, the winner is going to get $500. Yeah, cover model.
I'm on a magazine cover. How can I
of Iconic Magazine?
No.
Exactly. Exactly. So now check this out, LA. So next year, everybody that get published this year from January 1st to December 31st, they're all nominated automatically, right? Now the cover models of this year, they're going to walk away with $1,000 next year at the next year award show. Plus, it may increase to $1,500 or $2,000 depending on the sponsors. Because again, sometimes we allow free submissions and this and that. We do, right? For the most part. But cover models, they all pay for it.
That's dope.
So why not?
Yeah.
Right? And so we even said, let's do model of the year next year is going to win $500.
So you get a trophy and a financial prize.
Absolutely.
That's dope. You got any multimedia nominations, awards?
Like what?
Like podcasts.
Well,
talk
we throughout the year, I've been, putting out certain posts and stuff like that, to try to generate, categories and stuff like that. Hey, submit your stuff to this, submit your stuff to this link, click on it, so we can create the links. Again, because you got to get published in the magazine. We're not just because you got a podcast, just because if you're not doing and following the directives that we need to qualify you for the iconic,
And
it ain't gonna happen, And so you interviewing me, you know what that means? So now this show will automatically get nominated into the 2026 award show.
That's dope.
Yeah, just that simple.
So I just gotta make sure I knock out everybody else that might try to interview you.
Right. So yeah, and we put out a post, and I said, you know what? Look, here's some models that I personally manage. So let's if you got a podcast or a show, whatever you want to interview, we'll put you in there. We'll automatically nominate you. And I think it's just a few shows that came through.
Fats?
Yeah, Fats, you.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I interviewed that.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but yeah, all we need is just one off that list, and you automatically nominated.
Yeah, Fats did 4.
Right, exactly. And he got some more coming. Yeah, man.
He told me that day. He said, I got to interview 4 people. I was
Right.
Like, all right, well, shit, let's do it.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, that's it, man. That's what it is.
That's what's up. So we've been talking for an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. Dang.
You got a lot to say. You got anything else you want to tell the people?
Man.
Before you get into it, I want to give you your flowers.
Okay, right on.
You are one of the most, I hate saying the word intelligent, because anybody can be intelligent. You are one of the smartest people in your field that I've ever met. You're one of the people that I actively seek out. I don't call you. We don't talk much, but I actively look at your posts to see how you're moving.
Oh, wow.
And it's true, because
Yes,
you can tell a lot about a person by their silence more than their words. And people
Right.
don't realize that. Like,
Right.
they want to see the loudest person.
Yeah.
And when I walk into a room, I look for the most quiet person, and that's who I talk to. I'm not talking to the person that's doing all the yelling and stuff, because they rarely have much to say.
Again, I grew up in the streets. Gangster mentality. Most real gangsters, you ain't gonna hear a word from them. When people go around saying, I'm a gangster, that's not a gangster. Trust me,
I
that's not.
have a running joke with the people I deal with. When they talk about somebody talking bad about me, I say, well, I can fight. And that's what I say all the time. And everybody that know me, say they already know I'm about to say it. When they come to me and say, LA such and such said such and such, I be like, well, they must didn't mean it, because they know where I am and I can fight. So if you got what I was trying to say about you is, I know when you do say something, it's important to pay attention.
And so if you're speaking of paying attention, my true fight is work. See, when you deny me, you think you're doing something, you're not hurting me. I have the wherewithal. I got the backing of God. I got so many different things going on I'm going to be delivered.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You think you're slowing things down? No, you just showed me who you are. That's all. It's going to happen. It's inevitable.
And those people always come back to you and need you later.
And they do.
They always do.
Yeah.
It sounds cliche, but whenever you go to somebody, you say, I need your help, or can you help me with this, and they say no, those people always come back to you and say, hey, I need your help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time. Speaking of Fats, he gets that all the time. These people talk crazy about him. As soon as he say he doing the show, them same folks be in his face. Can I come design for the show? Can I model in the show?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Fats is the shit, man. And you know what separates him from all the other designers here in Atlanta? Fats he get on the road and go.
Yeah, he get the hell on.
Exactly. You hear me?
He do.
And that's the difference. And you know what the second difference is? He making clothes for the everyday buyer. So if you're a designer and
It's a third thing.
you're making clothes just to wear at the Grammys, so
Everybody can't afford that. And ain't gonna wear
can't
it.
afford it, can't wear it,
To
you
work.
know,
Yeah,
to work or
to
whatever.
warehouse. And the third thing about Fats is he loves everybody.
Right.
Fats doesn't meet
Him and Trick Daddy. Him and Trick Daddy.
Fats don't meet a stranger.
Right.
Fats meets you, you're his friend from the get-go.
Absolutely.
And that could be his downfall too. You hear me, Mel? That could be his downfall too.
Right.
But Fats loves everybody from the get-go.
Yeah.
You rarely hear, I don't know how much you talk to him, but
Quite
I talk to
often.
him
Yeah.
all day, every day, all week. And Fats, I've rarely heard him say a negative thing about anybody.
Right.
And if you have something negative to say about somebody, he has something positive to say.
Right.
Every time. Every
Right.
time. And it annoys me because I want you to be mad like I'm mad, and he don't want to be mad like you mad.
Right,
he want
right.
to say, but they did this and they doing this. And you're like, no, you supposed to be angry with me.
Right.
And he
Exactly.
like, nah, I ain't going to play that game because he know it blocks his blessings.
Yeah.
When he said, but when he is upset, he'll let you know.
Yeah. He will. He definitely will. You know, I'm gonna tell you, Fats ain't no punk, y'all.
That's
I'm gonna tell y'all now, Fats. I'm gonna tell y'all something about. Let me tell y'all look. See, what y'all don't realize, there's power in restraint. I'm telling you. Look, Fats is nice to everybody because y'all really don't want to see the other side to this brother. You hear me? I'm telling
He's
you.
a big dude.
For real.
He's a
Fats ain't no punk, man. I'm telling you. Look. So maybe it is a blessing that he is that way. I'm telling you. Look, because y'all don't want to see that Washington D.C. come out.
You just said a powerful thing. You probably don't even realize it. Restraint is a powerful thing. It takes a lot more strength to hold yourself back
Absolutely.
than it does to let loose. People
Right.
who let loose are very emotional.
Yeah.
They can't control their mouth, their tongue. They can't control none of that. But when somebody is upset,
Yeah.
and you can see it in their eyes, they're upset, and they stay quiet.
Yeah.
Them the warriors right there.
Yeah.
Man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What you
And
got
so-
going on today?
Man, I got late for an interview. I mean, late for a photo shoot, but I'm good.
You let me make you late?
Yeah, it's all good.
I don't want you talking junk about me later. Man.
She-
I was there when they kept talking.
Well, you said, what you reaching for? And I was like, oh, I was trying to make wait a minute.
Where you doing this shoot at?
Oh, we good.
Oh, okay. What is shoot at?
Glenwood.
Oh, right down the street.
Yeah, it's not that far.
Yeah, you're right down the
no,
street.
it's good.
Is it several people or just one mom?
Just one, and then I got some more downtown. So I'll be shooting till like maybe 7 o'clock tonight.
And then you heading back or you
I'm
staying?
getting on that road, man.
How do you do
man,
that?
I'm gonna tell you, I don't hang out with nobody. I ain't gonna look. Don't ask me to hang out with y'all at the. Nah.
That's me.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you. I don't have a lot of friends. I'm telling you, this is my formula. One of my formulas for success. As soon as you start hanging out with people, one thing is going to happen. The entitlement is going to kick in. And they're going to say, well, Von, we friends. Why are you charging me? So when I'm done, I ain't hanging out with nobody. I'm on the road. And that's how I become successful.
Another thing you missed out is when you hang out with people, you take on their mindsets.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They lazy, you start getting lazy.
You taking on their coloring.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you taking on their coloring.
Man, I'm telling you.
Oh, that's
man.
a better way to say that.
Look, and that's the other. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't do none of that stuff. So I'm not gonna fit in anyway. Why he ain't smoke? Because I don't do that crap. Yeah. So that's one of my successful tips. You can't hang out with everybody.
When's your birthday?
Oh man,
Don't you ain't gotta say the year, just the month.
6th of March.
6th of March.
Yeah. Yeah. And for a long time, I thought I was the only somebody who was born on that day.
You never ran into nobody else.
No. I mean, until I got into my 20s. Yeah, it was wild, because I'm up here listening at 12 and 13, listening to this religious guy named Jack Van Impe. I don't know if you ever know about this guy, right? But he was saying the Antichrist is born on March 6th. I'm like, golly, do I look like an Antichrist? I thought I was evil. I'm like, dang, because I couldn't find anybody that was born on my, until high school, right? Actually, yeah. And I said, well, she ain't a bad person. And then I started meeting other people.
That's what's up.
Yeah, but yeah, man, great interview, man.
Hey,
Great
man.
facility, man. I love this. This is beautiful.
I gotta get it cleaned up. I've been slacking. I'm not here a lot. I'm only here when I'm taping, usually like Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
And I'm starting to. I'm glad they can't see all of it, but
Right.
starting to treat
Right.
it like a storage over in some areas. But I'm gonna get it back straight. I want to get a bigger space,
Okay.
but like similar to what you say, I don't hang with a lot of people.
Right.
I'm home. Only people I hang with is my daughters and my wife.
Right.
And the people I were hanging with, they started telling me, no, bro, you should do this, you should do that. And even though you don't want to listen to people, you tend to take that stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling people, I want at least a space that's twice as big as this.
Right.
Oh, man, you great with what you got. And not realizing they don't want to see you
Exactly.
advance.
Exactly.
So they stay where you are.
Exactly.
Stay right here where you are. So I'm
Right.
about to, I think next year, if I continue to do it in a space and don't just take the cameras, because I've been having fun taking the cameras and popping up in your spot doing it.
Right.
But if I don't do that and just say forget the overhead or the building or the space, I might get a bigger space. It's not that expensive. My
Yes,
wife
sir.
get mad at me because she said I'm spending a lot of money on it.
Right.
You only there 3 times a month. You spending all this, and I'm like, it pays for itself.
Man, you better listen to your financial advisor. Right.
Let me, because I got a camera over there. She be watching. Be listening. Bro,
Yes, sir.
this has been my pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Like, I'm gonna say this, and then it's gonna be it, because I know I've been glazing you a lot during this interview, but you don't know how special this was to me.
Yes, sir.
Before we started the interview, we were having a conversation, and I'm one of those people that I never dismiss what another person says, because you can find truth in even even if you don't want to hear it, you can find truth in a lot of what people say.
Yes, sir.
And you are one of those. This being your first time being face to face,
Yes, sir. That's right.
and you off that 5-10 minute conversation we had earlier,
Yes, sir.
you proven to me that you're one of the smartest people that I have had the wherewithal to meet. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Because some of the stuff you were saying, other people have said it to me, and I've dismissed it as nonsense. But the way you worded it, it made me think.
Yes, sir.
And I went, that's a different way to say what somebody else said.
Yes, sir.
And that aligns more with what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So every time I see your work, you one of those people, you and David, when I see y'all pictures, I don't even need the logos at the bottom. I already know who did the picture.
Man, look, David Price is the
Crazy old bastard.
man. Let me tell you, man, my favorite photographers, man. I'm gonna shout them out real fast, man. David Price, Jerry Barnes, Franklin Douglas, man. I'm telling you, man. And then we got Conway Jackson, man, up in South Bend, Indiana, man. I'm telling you, man. Look, I'm gonna just throw myself in there too, man. I'm just saying, between us, man, you know, and T-Bump, man, Tracy Bumpers, man, right? I'm telling you, man, without us, in my opinion, Atlanta wouldn't be Atlanta, as far as photography is concerned. And there's a few more that I admire, man. You know, I promise, but I'm not gonna name them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw EI Shoot in there.
Okay.
Because,
I'm saying that I know.
personally.
Right. Yeah.
But I agree with everybody you just said, and
Yeah.
that's why I said I'm gonna throw EI Shoot in there.
Yes,
because
sir.
everybody you just said, only person I don't know is Tracy.
Right.
But I know I've seen the work of the others.
Right.
Especially David. Especially you.
Yes, sir.
But I want to throw, for mine, I want to say David Price, Von Donald, and EI Shoot. I want
Yes,
to put
sir.
those
Right
as
on.
my three favorite.
Right on.
You got anything you want to say to the people before you go?
Just real quick, stay positive, take control of your thoughts, think bigger than who you are, set goals for yourself, execute them, especially in a timely manner, be real to yourself, and don't let anybody say or, dictate to you at any time that you cannot achieve your dreams, your vision, your accomplishments that you set forth, and always, first and foremost, always stay prayed up.
Amen. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
This has been the Big LAC Show. That is Mr. Von Donald. You can find him at.
Oh, man. You can find me. You can find a magazine on Iconic Magazine. I'm sorry, on the website iconicmag.com. You can find us on Instagram, iconic_magazine. You can find us. You can find me personally if you want to do some photography work. It's secure ENT_photos. And you can just find me on Facebook, Von Donald's second page. Follow me, send me a friend request, and let's work.
Big LAC Show, man. EbonVision Media. We out of here.